The next upcoming Spotlight Cash card is going to be Scorn. And Scorn is joined by Jean Grey and Sebastian Shaw, which can be put in a Silver Surfer deck. Technically, both of them. Jean Grey is a bit higher of a cap to use successfully than some people realize. She's not just like an easy plug and play card, but she's still not bad for control. But let's get into Scorn's ability, shall we? Scorn reads, when you discard this card, return it to your hand and give +2 power to itself and one of your cards in play. So it's a 1/2 that gets +2 every time it's discarded and returned to play, and also gives not return to play, return to your hand and gives +2 power to itself and one of the cards in play. Now, this actually could be interesting. The only potential downside of this card is that it's a 1/2. You'd think that would be an upside because in theory, that means it's playable on turn 1, but it does not sound like you'll ever want to actually play the card unless it's maybe on the last turn or maybe in an armor lane if you're out of options, because you want to keep discarding it, right? That is the dream, to constantly discard it. It's basically, at this point, it's like a very, very mini apocalypse. If I feel like if Apocalypse had a mini me, this would be it. You know, like maybe did Apocalypse raise this symbiote, or I don't know. I don't know the actual lore of this, but this is very Apocalypse like. The +2 power thing is a bit of a twist. So let's see. Arguably, you can discard, let's see, in theory, you could discard it using Blade. In theory, you could also discard it using, who am I thinking of? The 2/4 that discards a card. You could also discard her using, oh, there's a bunch of cards you could discard her with. And then at the end of the day, let's say you discard her at least once a turn. So that's 2 times 5, which gives her 12 power in total, because 2 times 5 is 10. Yeah, 2 times 5 is 10, so you're giving her total 10 power if you can discard her successfully every turn, as well as a random card in play. It says one of your cards in play, so I can only assume that that's random. So if you're giving a random card of yours in play +2 power, honestly, that could be pretty good. You're discarding every turn, so that means you're giving her 10 power in total. And you're giving a random cards in play 10 power. I take cards because it just occurred to me that it doesn't have to be the same card every time that gets 10 power. It didn't say the same card gets +2 power. It says one of your cards in the line. That could actually make this card pretty powerful. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be just. I mean, that could bring Apocalypse discard back on the map. Right now, Hella discard is stealing the meta, as it were, but that could that could bring Apocalypse discard back on the map. In theory, it could be combined with Hella discard, but then how do you play Scorn on the final turn? Because I mean, I get you could combine it with something that makes it so you get energy. I don't know, but it does seem quite interesting. I do like the idea of this. I'm not a big discard person, honestly, but this intrigues me. I wish there was more targeted discard. I mean, it's a one card, so I get Blade Master can destroy it, and I get if I get lucky, I mean discard it, and then if I get lucky, Blade can discard it, and then of course, Modoc can discard it no problem on 10-5, but that's only one guaranteed discard. So in theory, if I had both her and Apocalypse in the hand, that would be perfectly fine. And the thing is, if we were to play Dracula, we gotta keep in mind that that's a whole turn that we don't get to discard just to play Dracula. So let's say on turn 1 we discard, 2 on discard, 3 on discard. But then turn 4 we don't discard at all. 10-5 we discard everything, but 10-5 is the only guaranteed discard because of the fact that when we discard cards, we cannot guarantee what card it will be that's being discarded unless the only card that can discard her on a more guaranteed basis is if we get lucky with replacement with Blade or like I said, the swordsman can technically discard her since he got hit change, and Modoc is a guaranteed discard for her. Other than that, it's just kind of luck. We could play cards like Corvus Glaive. Corvus Glaive actually brings stuff into potential play. Unfortunately, Corvus Glaive makes a Hella deck viable again. Consider considering that Corvus Glaive gives it extra energy. So I get that's something worth noting. And for those of you guys actually watching slash listening to this, I'm sorry if other people watching, listening, thinking about the potential to make Hella more powerful. I apologize for that. It was just an afterthought. As it were, we do not need Hella more powerful. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts on Scorn. Also, don't forget that Scorn is going to be joined alongside Jean Grey and Sebastian Shaw. Jean Grey is iffy, but Sebastian Shaw is worth pulling if you want to play either a surfer deck or a deck that buffs the power of cards because he's actually really good at stuff like that. So yeah, let me know if you're going to pull for Scorn or you're going to wait and see how she performs before you make a choice, because that's also valid. And with that said, I will catch you guys in the future. Later.